Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram D&D podcast. This is A Tangled Web, Chapter 13, Profane Revelations.
Too hard is the poison to the heart of a sick.
Salivar is standing on a ledge. The claw rift sprawls below. The darkness is so deep that even he can't see its end. As he listens closely, he can hear the city of Menzoberranzan above him. The sounds of life or of struggle, they are much the same in this place. He casts his look back towards the tunnel he came out of. The whole cliff face was riddled with them. A select few which led back to the old hideout of Bregendarth, their temporary headquarters now. It was secure, if not haunted. The thought of the ghostly drow high priestess wandering the tunnels invited other ghosts into his mind. He begins speaking out into the darkness. Vicaria, my wife, where are you? I fear I have failed our family. I have not protected them like I swore to you. Our children are lost here in the Underdark, looking for you. I will go to the Infernal Keep to find more answers, but for now all I have are questions. I have found my brother. I think independence has served him well. He is still divided, but he seems more certain of his actions. He chooses a life for himself, not as a pawn of our mother. The old raiding party I told you stories of, they are here too. I am not sure what their goals are, and if they will help me, but they are here, and that is something. What I do know is that we are looking for answers. It seems that there is uncertainty in the powers of the drow city. There are currents in motion. Our wizard says that the Sorcere keeps an item of power, of divination and insight. And having plucked the strands of the web, Salai tells us there is a way in. There are others that want access. They provide the map. We provide the violence. A currency we are familiar with, my love. Only this time, I hope I can buy you peace.
Menzoberranzan, the stench streets, 307 days remain. We see a two-headed giant bar the doors to the claw and hoof. Inside, dozens of creatures stand around, waiting. Eyes peer from every corner. Sets. 3 at a time, 5 at a time. Single eyes. A large bugbear stands on the bar. He has a large red beard. He wears black and red armor with a crest of a flaming heart over his chest. Every day our people starve. They die in the streets. And do you know what Grick here told me? He told me that they're feasting now. The drow. Holding a feast in honor of Loth, the spider bitch, while we starve. You see Snag there's eye. Lost it fighting for them. There's probably 100 priests in this city that could fix it with a gesture. Do they? Do they do anything to help? No, they just pile more shit on our backs. This city needs us. It needs us to herd its rothe, to tend its mushrooms, to build its walls, to defend its gates. The drow are weak. That is what they don't want you to know. They're weak and they're outnumbered by us. 20 to 1. For every 20 of us, there is only a single weak drow. You see a lot of nodding heads around the room, smiles, gritted teeth. I say we start to show them who is stronger. What do you say, brother?
I say, you are foolish, Zogar. You see your gang and think we are all as strong as them, but you feed them well. The 20 you mentioned, 20 to 1, how many of them are dying of starvation?
Dying
on the
because
streets?
of them.
They could not lift a knife, let alone lift a sword or club. The drow are not as weak as you say. They are wicked, and in their humiliation grow more wicked. We need to strengthen ourselves of body, get food to the people who need it, take up arms. Have you thought of these things, brother? Have you gathered weapons? Have you gathered food and supplies?
The shouting. We're not ready. He's right.
I will get the food we need. And then, when we are strong and they are complacent, we will strike at them. When their light tower is at its lowest, then, and only then, when we are ready, to do before is to ensure that we are all dead.
Always waiting. Always plotting like the damn drow. He storms off. Welcome back to the Dungeons and Dragons Nasty Gram podcast. I'll be your dungeon master, Jake. And I'm joined here by...
This is Josh playing Zavir and his little good buddy Azun.
Hey folks, Dan here playing Salivar, the worried father.
Matt here. I'll be playing Jidin Duskrin, the arcane trickster rogue.
Hey, this is Devin. I'll be playing Salai, not a drow. Couldn't be looking for me.
And I'm back, folks. It's John, and I am playing Grimgar Shadowstalk, the bugbear rogue ranger.
Nice guy.
People of the
Yeah.
person of the people?
Yeah.
Hero of the people?
And when last we left off, the party had this really great idea to break into like the most powerful like school of mages, in all of the world. But it's cool because they're going to wait until the most powerful wizard in the world like just goes for a walk. And then they're going to go break into his house, his office, and
It's foolproof.
steal all of his shit.
It's foolproof, really.
So we're going to Hogwarts?
But it's okay because they found a bugbear that knows the way in. What could go wrong? So
When you put it like that, Jake,
Let's do something else.
what's the plan? Well, first, let me kind of read to you the sort of synopsis that I sent to the bugbear. I'll read this whole stupid thing, and then we'll do a quick sort of planning session, and then we're going to jump right into that infiltration, and because I don't want to overdo the planning and have like an entire episode of that.
I don't feel like we'd ever do something like that.
Yeah, right. I just remember the house.
We look at the door.
Remember the fucking house.
Continue to look at the door.
Masquerade?
Yes. But what we'll do, since I'm going to kind of try to rush you guys into this, is if you feel free to like kind of interject flashback, like this is what I prepared, because
Josh is getting that
as
stab
long
of
as
the
it's
Magi.
reasonable. Josh and Devin are frantically looking through their spell cards because I gave them a whole giant list of things they can't do inside the tower. All right.
A lot of good spells in the stack of non-chosen.
Tear Breach is a cavern north of the city that houses the three schools of Menzoberranzan. The one that you care about is Sorcere, pronounced Sorcere. I never need to read that, did I? Also known as the Tower, it is a cluster of massive stalagmite spires. It is a home to about a dozen wizard teachers known as Masters of Sorcere. There's also a dormitory that can house 150 students, although due to the recent war, there are only about 50 in attendance. Protections and wards. The walls of the school are lined with lead and Gorgon blood, and gold sigils ward every door and window. As a result, the building has the following protections. You cannot scry or use any other form of divination to see within the walls of the tower. You cannot teleport into or out of the building. Magic portals cannot be opened into the building. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead cannot enter the tower without a special token. You guys can potentially have these tokens. We'll just talk about, we're going to talk later about resources and how much that ended up costing you. But for now, we'll just say you have them, and they're going to cost an insane amount of gold in order to get. Any transmutation spells are automatically ended within 100 feet of the tower. This is mainly just applies to things that would make you look like something you're not. So alter self type stuff and
Polymorph.
Polymorph, exactly. That's the big one. Astral travel within the tower is deadly. You have all heard stories of people blinking while in the tower and just not coming back. So there's something really scary on the astral plane side of where the tower is.
Don't love that.
Notable wizards. Gromph Ben Ray is the Archmage of Menzoberranzan. He is a 700-year-old mage and one of the most powerful mages in Faerun. He has offices in the tower, spends most of his time there. The only time you can guarantee not to run into the Archmage is the Black Death of Narbondel, when he has to attend his duties of relighting the Pillar of Narbondel. The items that all of you are looking for, the wand and the thing that Grimgar is looking for, are located in his office. Parasaur Eight Eyes is an old master of Sorcere. Many claim he is the second most powerful wizard in the city. No one knows his original family, but the rumor is that he has been a master of Sorcere for 400 years. He is fanatically devoted to Loth. Some say that he has found a secret way of overcoming the scrying divination protections because he always seems to know everything that's going on in the school. There are 3 ways in. This is the part we're going to talk about right now. The Underdark Tunnel. A natural tunnel in the Underdark that leads to the tower. This is one of those secrets everyone sort of knows. It's a secret, but not really. The advantage to this is that it's secluded. You can make as much noise as you want. You can take as long getting in as you want. People don't go here.
And that's because it's a really stupid idea, right?
Because it is guarded by a pair of giant animated spider statues.
Perfect.
So mechanically, this is the hardest fight as far as monsters, but kind of no consequences.
Yeah.
You can be as loud as you want. There's no timer or anything. The next one is the front door. It's not really an option, but I mean, it is.
Right.
But you could just walk in the front door. There's 6 guards. They're usually graduates of the Fighter Academy. There's always 6 guards there. One of them is always under the effects of a true seeing spell. You can fight them, but they will immediately raise alarms, and you'll have to move very quickly. Because there's such a small number of students and staff, they pretty much know everyone by just looking at them. So, it's a really small amount of people that come through here. So you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, I'm a student. You've just never seen me. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. The service entrance. The service entrance is more quiet than the front door, but there's still people coming and going regularly. It's guarded by constructs. You don't have any details about what those constructs are, but they attack anyone who is not magically branded on site. Anyone. So like students, you were all told when you were students not to use the service entrance or these things would kill you. So there's no exception. If you kill them fast enough, you can get in without raising alarms. So this is a slightly easier fight, but if you don't do it fast enough, you're going to raise alarms. Even if you do it fast, you're still going to be on a timer because eventually someone is going to notice that they're missing.
Yep.
And then I did put some stuff about getting brands. If you want to get an actual slave brand, you could. It wouldn't take much research to learn that essentially those function like a cursed item. Once that's on you, it doesn't come off unless you have some sort of remove curse ability. And while it's on you, essentially any priest or wizard, master of Sorcere that casts a spell on you, you have disadvantage on all saving throws. You also are restricted from leaving the city or entering certain parts of the city while you have it. So you can get that brand if you want. Go ahead.
Do we, through Grimgar or previous knowledge, know anything about? I mean, I'm assuming most of Sorcere, once you're admitted, it's free to move around. So there probably aren't like wards everywhere.
Right. I mean, yeah, once you get inside, there's going to be just people walking around and going about their business. And the other thing is, once you're inside, people aren't going to think you're intruders. You know, they're going to be like,
anybody could be in there.
Yeah. You wouldn't be there if you were an intruder, right? So, like, if a student sees you, they're not going to think it's weird.
And no, as far as we know, that underground option. I mean, we're all underground already, but underground,
Underdark,
like the way to actually
double Underdark,
get into Sorcere. Do we have to worry about wards if we get past those spiders?
Probably. But it is something, but you're not sure. Grimgar didn't have any information on that. You would think that there's probably some sort of magic lock or magic traps or ward or something like that.
Guess what kind of shitty wizard doesn't have knock?
Knock's not a spell anymore, right?
No, it isn't.
I think they got rid of it.
It's a high, though.
It's only wizards get it. Only wizards.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a 4th level, right? It's pretty high up.
I don't have it. Long story short.
Can we return wizard?
Get a new one.
Can I get a 12th level wizard, please?
And then last
Respect the
question
wizard.
from me. Could I make maybe Arcana roll to see if I have any guess as to how Eight Eyes does what he does? I am a
Can you roll for an eyeball check?
divination wizard. I've studied a lot. Maybe
Can I see your character sheet?
The old spell plague eyeball coming in clutch with a 20.
Dirty 20.
what do you think he's looking for?
Previous
Are the
dating
checks
history.
are the checks just proficiencies, and then the X's are those double
Expertise,
proficiency? Yeah, expertise.
Extra. Jake.
Extra proficient.
History and
Extra
Arcana.
good.
That history always comes in handy. Roll
Yeah.
that
Key.
all the time.
I mean, this could be a use for
Yeah.
history. He's
400
400
years.
years old. That's pretty historic.
That is pretty good.
You nailed an Arcana check in part 1 on the circle of the map.
So your Arcana and your history are the same. They're both plus 11, right?
Yep.
So give me that roll. Plus 11 roll.
28.
28. You don't know how he's doing it, but you don't think that he has found a way around that magic. You think that rumor is incorrect.
Okay.
So you don't think he's using divination.
Okay. All right.
The brands, could you be holding something that's branded and it would work, or does it actually have to be on flesh?
Like
Or-
someone else's face.
I mean, if it's on your face and I carve it off of somebody's face and just have their skin in my hand that's branded, would that work?
Good guy
You want to
shit.
take his face?
Face off.
Yes. Yes, I do.
We have made it. We have made it, ladies and gentlemen.
You could try it.
I like my odds.
What a good answer.
I mean, it's slaves that have them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good guy stuff.
Yeah, Grimgar's friends.
Use someone's face like a swipe card. See if it works.
RFID,
Oh, God.
All right. What do you guys think?
I think I need to find a slave.
I know a guy.
Oh, good.
Does Grimgar have one of those brands?
No, but his friend Snag does. The one Bugbear is the one that he's kind of co-conspiring with. He's the one who got a lot of the inside information.
Snag works in the tower.
Yeah.
He's a cook.
For the sake of expediency, why don't we meta this instead
Yeah.
of role playing it out? Like,
Yeah.
what do we think is our best option?
I think the third. I mean,
There's just too much risk inherent in all the other ones.
The third being the service entrance?
No.
Or
The Underdark.
Underdark.
The Underdark. Okay.
Underdark.
Stone spiders.
Under.
I mean, dangerous, yes, but if we can't succeed in...
Also point out the spiders guard a tunnel that leads in. So that means you're not in the tower yet. You can still use all of your magics when you engage the spiders.
All other entrances are also public in some way, shape, or another. And I think...
Yeah, the only downside to the Underdark Tunnel one is that if you lose the
You
fight,
die.
they kill you.
Yeah. I mean, we still get killed most of the other ways.
Would you say the spiders, their perch would be more than 100 feet away outside of that anti-transmutation?
You can't. You're
Can
not.
you wild
shape?
shape?
Sure.
You're not certain.
Wild
you won't
sh-
be certain until you get there.
Wild shape is not like a transmutation spell. It's
Yeah,
just
right.
like I'm a shape changer. I have wind walk, and I feel like it would just break the encounter. I'm not going to bring it up, but we assume gaseous forms
Yeah,
up
and
to
then-
10 living creatures.
Yeah, and then you
We would
turn, and then
reform.
it's transmutation, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you turn
We'd
back
reform.
into your normal form.
We just don't
Yep.
know where.
100 feet away from.
yeah.
But if just bypassing the spiders.
Oh,
was-
I see what you mean. Like if it
I don't
were...
think Jake would.
No.
I think it's
bring it up.
less than
Spiders are
Yeah,
99
you'll turn into
feet
your regular form in a
front-
spider web.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to Matt, like the downside of that not working is like we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like taking the brand. Like if we took that route, tried to get in that way, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean it's an easier fight though. If we're quick, and can we use our magic in that space or no?
Not all
It's
of
all of
within
it?
100 feet. So no transmutation.
No transmutation. Everything else you'd be able
mean-
to use in that fight.
transportation.
She didn't fine with that fight, but I know the rest of you probably aren't.
How much do we know about automatons?
I think the other part of it is that we don't...
I made an iron golem once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that we also... That reveals that someone's trying to get into Sorcere.
Yeah.
It's a
If it fails, right?
Yeah.
if it's a fight, it's a semi-public fight. Maybe I mean not like literally like out in the street, but
Slaves
Yeah.
are coming and going.
higher chance of being seen.
Less chance of dying.
Yeah, I do think that one has the least variables. I mean,
The
The
spiders.
spider fight.
Yeah. Yep. And also maybe if we were in a different setting, we could maybe fuck around with the slave entrance a little more. But for the sake of expediency, I'm
That's
thinking.
Grimgar is going to brand himself, even though it doesn't work. He wants to make it look like he's a slave.
Okay, like a fake one.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense
Yeah.
because
If we're in there and we're milling about,
so you are going to literally put a brand on your face.
is it on the face?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
I can get you a cheek.
Yeah, he's like, I could have done that with makeup, bro.
Yeah.
because the rest of us do look once we're inside like we might
Yep.
belong there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
No, you. I mean, he literally was a
Yeah, he
student
was
in
there.
there.
Student
He
there.
was. And half drow, half devils or half
not
demons are not
uncommon.
that uncommon. Yeah, they have these big you read it. Big orgies.
Got like your name on the wall. Top student.
They have big devil orgies.
I mean, I think once Shidden's inside, he'd probably rely more on stealth than like just being like comfortable free roaming.
But it's also kind of weird if you are, trying to hide and someone spots
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a plus 13 to stealth, so
Yeah. And then I guess the only other thing that probably concerns me would be any form of healing potions or anything that we could have as a last stop. Doing something as dangerous as this. I don't know if there's time or what the market bears in Menzo, but maybe not for everyone, or maybe just one or two. Or
I'll say you have time to find 2 healing potions that do 8d4.
okay,
They're going to end up costing extra because it's hard to find
Sure.
stuff right now. And I don't want to get into like the details of the gold yet, but we definitely will do that. Maybe next game we'll
But you have $1 billion gold, so it's really not a lot. So.
maybe next game we'll figure out like what you guys have for resources and how we want to figure that out. But I'll just make a note that spent a bunch of gold on the tokens and on 2 potions. All right, so it sounds like the Underdark Tunnel, the Underdark,
the under Dubla Dark,
and
Unterdark.
And we got tokens for Azun and for Salvar. And anything else before we jump right in?
He says that like we're forgetting something. Nope.
Cool. All right. Grimgar's leading the way down this tunnel, this natural stone tunnel, very uneven floor. Sometimes you're crawling up and down. It's about 8 feet from floor to ceiling, about 4 feet wide. But what you've heard is that it opens up into a cavern that is directly under the main spire of the tower. And so it does. You kind of climb up over this little ridge, and down below you see a circular cavern. The floor has been evened out. It's still natural rock, but it's been kind of flattened and evened out. And there is a staircase that leads up into Sorcere. And flanking that staircase, actually kind of above that staircase, are these 2 carvings of enormous spiders carved in black ebony stone. Their legs come out over each step. So as you walk up, their bulbous bodies would be above you, and there's 16 steps that lead up, and each one has a leg on it.
This is as far as I've come.
Have they ever stirred?
Yes. There was once a goblin who strayed close, and it ate him. Came alive.
Flashback, Grimgar throws a goblin at it.
Will this work?
He went willingly.
He totally wanted to go.
Perhaps a pressure plate.
No, I do not believe so. Some magic ward. Some wizard thing.
Perhaps divine, even a gift from the Spider Queen.
The gift of the Spider Queen.
Grimgar kind of spits to the ground when you mention.
Well, he looks at this group.
Salai pulls out of her robe. Looks like a little bundle of herbs wrapped together. And she smells it. She crumples it up in her hand and then throws it at our feet. I cast Pass Without Trace. Looks a little different now. And you can smell just like a little puff of fresh spruce and mistletoe. A smell you haven't smelled since you've been down here, Salivar.
Jake, any chance I could make a roll to see? I mean, I have to make some assumptions, but if these are magical constructs, what things I think they might be resistant or immune to?
Or vulnerable.
Yeah, give me an Arcana roll. What I will do
You need
is
an Iron Golem.
I will give you a. You did make an iron. Hey, you know what? You made an Iron Golem. Take advantage on this roll.
See? Look at that. I'm looking out for you, bud.
I'm gonna. Yeah, depending on how high you roll, I'll give you more information.
Really leaning on that Iron Golem.
It's pretty good. 29.
29.
29. And I have one.
That's like 3.5.
I'm not going to use it now, but I have one inspiration. Remember when Jake used to give us inspiration?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I got one.
That's pretty good. There's a lot of things you already know about constructs, right? Like you know that they can't be charmed or frightened or exhausted or poisoned or any of that bullshit. One thing that you know about golems is that they their forms cannot be altered. So you can't turn it into you can't polymorph a golem.
Yeah.
They have an ability called immutable form. You think that while these things look like giant spiders, in fact, they are essentially golems. And with that assumption in mind, you know that they're going to be immune to a lot of different sort of forms of like energy.
Great.
You know that they're immune to fire, psychic, poison, and pretty much any like mundane weapon. You know, bashing, slashing, piercing.
I'm out.
Everything I do.
Anything that's not
Yep.
magical.
Slashing, bashing, and piercing, John.
John,
Hey, that's all I got.
Useless
Yeah.
buddies.
Non-magical. Non-magical.
Not magical.
I don't have any magical weapons.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah.
Do I? Plus one, plus
maybe
one.
one. Maybe
One
Hero
of my
people.
short swords.
one
plus
of you. One of. No, they're both +1. Otherwise, you can't do. You literally can't do anything.
Okay.
Got a good
No.
club and a better club.
One is +1. The other is adamantite.
Okay.
But nothing I know of as far as lightning or cold. Necrotic, but I assume necrotic wouldn't affect them. Or radiant.
It's not on the list.
Weird.
As we approach,
Necrotic could be decay too. not just-
Azun starts rattling off some things. The wizard spent many a month building something similar. Therefore,
Raises an eyebrow.
think of them more like stone golems than constructs of another form. Certainly not spiders. Their form cannot be changed. Anything that would affect a living creature, trying to scare them, tire them, nothing of that will work. Unlikely any kind of flame or heat will injure them. And any weapons, if they do not bear enchantments, they will not do anything more than scuff them.
Well, that's reassuring.
Stone degrades over time. Find the weak points, Jidden. Split them apart.
How far apart are they?
They're actually kind of like on top of each other because the way that they're straddling the steps of the stairs. Like one is above the other. Their legs are almost intertwined.
I really want to like Blackrock Spire this and like kite one for a while.
Frost Nova.
Not a terrible idea if you can.
Is this cavern like
Mostly circular.
and featureless, or is there other places to hide?
This
basically?
is a natural cavern that has been kind of just the bare bones. Like
Okay.
the ground has been kind of evened out. The walls have been kind of evened out, kind of intentionally to make sure there's nowhere to hide.
Yep.
Like, so you can hide in like side passages. There's probably a couple nooks and crannies along the exterior,
Yeah.
but you can't really approach it hidden.
Okay.
There might be a spell on you right now that helps that.
Yeah, noise is sort of muffled around us, and that it's weird. It's like that smell has this. It's this sort of tingle in the air. It's musky. It masks us.
The wizard has a thought to send a phantasm forward to try to trigger this creature's. Therefore, any of us with magics that we would best wish to unleash without damaging allies can send them forth.
It is possible the magic could distract it.
Basically, he's just talking about trying to use an unseen servant to approach and see if it triggers them
Sure.
versus like us running up there and then not being able to like cast any like area of effect spells. Maybe trying to get those one off before
And that might tell us
engage.
their sort of senses, right? Like if it's unseen and they still detect it, we know that they don't rely on sight.
I suppose we should be ready in any case. Silavar starts like chanting a very guttural, demonic, infernal language, if you will. And he's going to cast Armor of Agathis on himself.
Zavir starts ritual casting Unseen Servant, taking little sticks and twine and basically just making almost like a little tiny figure as Azun mutters arcane words. And some minutes later, there's like a shimmer in the air.
Where do you send it?
Zavir looks around, kind of raises an eyebrow and nods.
Grimgar will go to one of the. How far away are those side passages from this? From these?
I mean, you're in one of them, but they're kind of there's a bunch of little ones all along the edges.
He'll skirt the side and get to one that he would think is outside of their current line of sight, and just kind of meld into the shadow. You see him for a big bugbear. He kind of disappears into the darkness pretty quickly.
If, Zavir, These are mechanical creatures, as you say. Perhaps they operate in mechanical ways. See if you can tempt one from one side. If it'll engage singularly.
How far away are we from these
There's
things?
like a staircase that leads
Maybe
up
40 feet.
in between them, right?
Staircase is in the middle of the room. And it's in between them.
We're only 40 feet from them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think the only thing Jidden can do is, well, I won't be as useful against these as the hook horrors, but at least I can make it bright. And I'll cast Fairy Fire on them.
Okay. When
Dex,
That
they got to make
that's going to make things happen.
Yep.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah.
But what's the save?
13 Dex.
13 dex. Good news, bad news. They get advantage. Good news, they have a -1 dex.
They don't have advantage if they don't see me. I have what the fuck? Oh, magical ambush. So if they can't see me, they have disadvantage on saves.
That makes a straight roll.
That's a cool
That's
ability.
crazy.
Arcane Trickster.
Give him another inspiration.
I hear the jealousy in your voice. One of the statues is lined in glowing fairy fire. The other one, as soon as this effect happens, they start to move. These statues, it doesn't seem like they even come to life. It seems like they just already were. They just weren't moving. And they move very quickly. It's unsettling because they're giant, literally giant statues, and these legs just slam into the gravel, into the ground, and they both scurry in opposite directions to the perimeter of the room.
Fuck.
Yep.
Well, we'll roll initiative.
Yeah,
we'll roll initiative. That's what they're going to do. So that was, we'll give that as a surprise. So one of them is fairy fired, and roll initiative.
It's leaner.
18 for Grimgar.
Josh, do you have your portents?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
12. Jidden.
9 for Zavir.
6 for Salai.
10 for Silavar.
I assume golems can't be snuck attack, can they?
Well, no, sneak attack is
That's not-
different
that's
in
not a thing
5e.
anymore.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
no longer like vital organs.
Okay.
It's just like effective attacks.
Yeah, that whole precision damage thing is gone.
Yep.
Which makes life a lot easier for
Yeah.
rogues.
Who had the 18?
Grimgar.
Grimgar. So, and then Salvar had a 6. Jidden had a 12.
Salavar had 10.
Salvar had a 10. Jidden had a 12. Salai had a 6.
Yep.
Zavir had a 9, right?
Mhm.
And they got a 7. All right. Grimgar.
Okay. Okay.
The legs start twitching up
Yep.
and down as they begin to move.
He doesn't take a second breath to run into the open with his swords drawn and just leaps into the one with fairy fire. So I assume I had advantage, right?
That's what it
fairy
does.
fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. First attack.
For your
Crit. Oh, this is going to be
shit.
a lot of fucking damage.
Oh, yeah, because it's a
Sneak attack.
And I have
Ambush.
a weird bugbear shit. All right.
ambush crit.
And
Yeah,
then
you figure that out.
yeah. This is going to be a Torlock turn over here. And I'll roll the second attack, which is not going to hit. It's a, what's the adamantite? Is a 16.
Let's miss. You figure out your damage, and we'll
Yes,
come
sir.
back to you. Other rogue. Jidden.
Other rogue.
He's not going to one shot. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think he's going to one shot. I don't think so.
So immune to damage, but if it's
No, you have magic weapons. You're fine.
yeah, but that it goes through. It's not just
Yep.
it doesn't take it to resist, and it just everything
Yep.
goes through.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I have 5 more D6s? Actually, 6 more D6s.
Yeah, it's tricky. Oh
No fire damage.
yeah.
No poison damage either.
But necrotic works.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
far
you got to
as-
think of
as
it
far
as
you know.
not just decay, like not just life force, but decay as well.
Oh, can I actually get 4 more D6 weapon.
So you guys are fighting one giant spider. I mean, 3 giant spiders.
All right. As bonus action, I will. You know what? It's not worth it. I think Jidden is seeing the bugbear run in. He's going to make a move on the same spider.
Okay.
Drawing his rapier as he moves towards it and try to get a slice in there or a stab.
Advantage from the fairy fire that you did.
Fuck. Crit. Go. Skip.
I mean, I will see what you guys do for damage, but what? Who's going to be next after that? It's going to be Salivar. Salivar, why don't you? Assuming that there's now one spider, what does Salivar do?
He will
Hold on. I like how Matt was like, fuck, a crit.
as he's sort of frustrated that the plan they were discussing was so quickly abandoned with a fairy fire. And he starts
It's your brother, man.
yeah, I know. He starts like a slow kind of run towards the well, I don't know. We'll say the other one for now,
Yeah,
but if it turns out that one's
It's probably dead.
71 damage from the bugbear.
Oh, maybe it's not dead.
Only
Wow.
71.
Yeah, so I have sneak attack 5d6.
Yep.
I have a bugbear
So that's
special thing,
So that's
surprise attack,
10d6,
which is another 2d6.
So it's
And then I have my Gloomstalker Dreaded Ambusher, which is another 2d8 or 1d8. So
I
2d8.
thought we banned
So
that.
it's 14.
I don't have the
He
invisibility.
doesn't have the
Yeah.
invisibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only 3 levels of Ranger
14d6 and 4d8.
and 2d8,
Two,
and then plus the 2d6 from my short sword.
Yeah, he will run in at the one that is fairy fired.
Okay.
And take 2 attacks.
That's the one they're attacking. I think.
yeah.
Yep.
It's not that much. It's
Yeah, they're not going to kill it.
52.
Okay.
53. Piercing.
Okay.
As he runs in, that sword that you know and love summons itself into his hands.
How many
The Dark
attacks
Star?
do you have?
2, but they're with advantage.
Oh, because it's verified.
Yeah.
4
2 hits.
Turns out fairy fire.
no numbers?
is yeah. they're golems. They got a pretty high armor class.
I rolled a 19 and a 17.
Okay.
So
That'll hit.
it would be a 30 something and 29.
30
Oh,
something?
29's a miss. I'm just kidding.
What's your plus 2 attack?
11.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're playing level 12 characters.
Yeah.
I have plus 7.
Yeah, they're playing level 12 characters. They didn't take 3 different primary stats.
Oh, it'd be 2 more. Oh, magic weapons.
That is 24, 37 points of damage. Oh, sorry. 43.
That made the difference.
Wait, seriously?
Nice.
Why? Let's go around here. Starting with Grimgar, Jidden, and then Salivar. How does this go?
He just bolts out of the darkness, and you barely see him for an instant before he's in the air, both swords in hand, like pointing down as he clamps down on the spider's back. And one of them pings off of the stone armor, but one of them dives into the thorax of this creature and then drags his sword down as he falls back to his feet on the ground.
As you see Grimgar sliding down one side, it almost looks like Jidden just appears on the other, and you see his rapier flash out into one of the leg joints on this thing, and just a twist of his wrist, and the stone pops, and this thing falls down on one side, bringing its head lower to the ground.
And Salivar, in that kind of unhurried run or jog, as I mentioned before, attacks very simply now. He lost a lot of his earlier days with the flash, and he takes 2 very concise cuts. One to remove one of the remaining legs that was keeping it standing, and the second one is just buried into the just below the head of the spider.
You bury that dark star into the head of the spider, into this ebony. The whole thing cracks and shatters and just crumbles into a pile of rock.
Go ahead, Zavir.
9?
Yeah, follow that up.
What'd you get?
That's 6.
Oh.
I go after the spiders.
Wow.
They got that one. You get this one.
I cast True Strike.
All right, next.
Yeah. I can't do any of my air of effects stuff. So he just Zavir kind of moves a bit just to kind of be behind the melee combatants in the other one and starts to line up a shot.
Cool.
I thought they moved to opposite sides of the room.
They didn't get a chance to
They
yet.
moved
Oh, okay.
They're moving now. But this one isn't gonna move now because it's engaging all three of you.
Grimgar has a 5-foot reach, and he'll back up if he's out of the reach of the spider.
Yeah.
He's gonna melee. He's gonna skirmish it.
Jin probably does the same thing. I assume.
If
Disengage with
I
your
kind of forgot
bonus
they were
action.
close.
Yeah.
You just it's like old times,
That's
bro.
like usual. They always pop in, attack, and then let Salivar take the hits. Salivar, what's your armor class?
Whopping 16.
Cool.
You hit.
Yeah.
yeah.
All 8 times.
One for each leg.
One of those is a miss.
I have healing word.
Great.
Word.
We got some potions.
Wow. I got 3 misses.
Okay. He does. They actually have 8 attacks?
Yeah. Do you need the damage separately?
I do.
Okay. That's annoying.
Yep. Sorry, bud. Probably not for long. How about that?
No, it's fine. 14.
Okay. He takes 25.
Okay. 13.
Takes 25.
14.
Okay.
12.
Mm-hmm.
And 10.
Okay.
How you doing?
Okay.
You took 50.
Yeah. I had 25 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
So I take 25. All right.
This thing moves with blurring speed. All of it actually moves its body right above Salivar and just starts slamming down on him with all 8 legs, like one at a time. How far back did you guys move? How far back could you move?
Probably to the edge of the.
Okay. Didn't have. Yeah, because you make a full move when
Yeah.
you disengage, or
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
But
I would get whatever we get
they
whatever
have
we
reach
have left
as well.
over.
Oh, okay,
at the
so-
they're huge.
So
yeah.
I'm right next
Yeah.
to it then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say we probably didn't.
I can move
get
40
far
feet
enough away.
on my first turn. So
Okay,
however
so
far that gets me.
can the 3 of you please all make wisdom saving throws?
Oh,
Cool.
I'm assuming this is not a spell.
4.
It's a spell-like effect. Yeah,
It's not- is it-
counter spell? I don't think you can counter spell.
It's not charm, right?
No.
A 9er.
Charming giant.
21. Magical sleep.
Rogues, Dan, you're fine. You guys are both slowed.
Ugh.
What does that mean? Only can do one thing.
It means that you can either take an action or a bonus action on your turn, but not both. Your speed is halved, and you cannot use reactions.
Okay.
The whole area starts to get filled with this web, but it's not. It's like it's insubstantial. It's definitely magic in nature. It's just sort of like it's ethereal almost.
Cool. They might be lurking on the astral plane too.
They guard everywhere. And Selai, had to fucking change your name. It's a cool idea.
Be a lot cool if it sounded different than,
The other one.
That's the dwarf's name. It was her teacher.
made up the dwarf.
My hands were tied. I couldn't do anything about it.
I discovered the saloon. All this family, they SEL.
Cut.
Salai throws open her robe, and there's this sort of brilliant, like, glint of light as mithril, the fairy fire reflects off of the mithril armor. The codpiece is resplendent. And as everyone turns back to the spider, there's this shape, big shape, still shining as it barrels towards the spider. It's the owl bear, brown fur, except now the feathers on its like head and shoulders, they glint with this sort of silvery light, or this silvery sort of pigment. And that armor, that mithril half plate, it changes shape to fit the owl bear, and it just barrels into this spider. I'm going to use my first attack. I'm going to try and shove this thing.
Okay.
Knock it to the ground. This thing comes up, sort of leaps those big paws up front and tries to land its paws, its front part of its body on its head and slam it to the ground. So we're going to do contested rolls.
Okay.
You can use either your strength, your athletics, or acrobatics to resist being knocked prone, essentially.
All right.
I got an 18.
I got a 20.
Okay, so it's not knocked prone. The owlbear lands. Oh, actually, hold on. The owlbear long jump is up to 30 feet, and their high jump is 15 feet with a running start. Blah, blah, blah. If it leaps at least 20 feet towards a target and then hits it with a bite or claw attack, it must either strength saving throw or be knocked prone. I didn't even read that. Either way, I'm going to make the claw attack.
Okay.
11 to hit.
Miss.
Just rakes off of the stone.
Bite one of the legs, but just can't break it, you know.
Yeah, it shakes its feathers and stands up close to this thing. Paws the ground. And that's it.
Okay. Back to the bugbear.
Grimgar uses his like offhand sword to swipe at this ethereal web as he moves slowly towards the spider and takes a swipe at it with his other sword. 17?
17 hits.
Do I get sneak attack?
Yes, because Salvar's there.
Okay.
And the owlbear.
24
Okay.
damage. He's like long arms. He's standing off from the spider, just pecking in at the limbs, trying to cut one off.
Jidden.
Follow up with behind the bugbear as well. That's dirty 20.
That's a hit.
It's a dynamic duo here. Nice.
Multiple rogues is so silly. Like, oh, round one, we just kill half the encounter. Yeah.
Great.
28 piercing.
28. All right.
And then in a flash, I'll use his dagger in his offhand. Make a.
Is that a bonus action?
You're
You're
slowed.
slowed.
Yeah.
Oh, you have. Yeah, I guess it is a bonus action.
Yeah, you can use an action or a bonus action, but
Do
not
we make
both.
do we make another save to get out of it, or is it just
Is it duration?
At the end of your turn, you can make a save.
Okay.
Yep.
wisdom? I
Yep.
assume? Nope.
Nope. 11.
All right.
Don't forget, you can only add sneak attack damage, right, on one attack.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But they're only taking one attack 'cause
one
they're
attack.
slowed.
at the moment. Yeah.
Salavar.
Salavar kind of now like almost staggering at first as he kind of reels from the first assault between the legs. He now starts whispering a curse. You can hear kind of
Kurthith.
Ixtroth, Ixmal. And like this kind of shadowy curse kind of elicits forth, and he will take 2 attacks, but he's going to use his Hexblade Curse on it. Probably only it's a 17,
That's a hit.
so 2 hits.
You figure that out.
Yep.
Xavier.
Seeing them pound this thing pretty good, he's going to shift gears. Need a Constitution save.
19.
Made it. Takes 9 necrotic damage. But Salvar, you could use up to 3 hit dice to immediately regain hit points plus 3.
Awesome.
Is that Wither and Bloom?
It is.
Nice.
You just see bits of stone kind of falling off, flaking off, eroding like it's been hit by water for hundreds of years.
59 damage.
59.
You hear that, buddy?
Yes. So I can do, I can,
Use 3 of your hit die.
So Salvar actually takes off a couple of its legs, and then this wither and bloom, as I said, the stone starts to just erode, and it continues to erode, and then just starts to turn to dust.
18 hit points back.
Plus 3.
Oh, 22.
And you actually kill it.
Oh, wow.
The 9 damage
Nice.
killed it? It was super powerful.
59 right before that might have helped.
It's a small window.
The actual reason that I did the curse was because I have the ability now that anything I curse, I can roll for it to miss when it attacks me.
Oh,
Because the 50, I was at 54.
Yep.
So if it hits me with another full onslaught,
Yep. Yeah, you'd be going down. Yeah, it erodes to dust from this necrotic damage.
And you regain some of its essence.
oh yeah, I actually top off because it was my Hexblade curse.
Shit.
Top off.
Back
Top
back
of the
at
morning.
the back at
Wow,
full health.
2 rounds. All right.
Josh, does the target take on any aspects of the stone? Do they harden in any way?
It's up to the recipient, I guess.
They glitter.
You are worthy indeed. We must make haste before there is an alarm set. Someone finds out.
Apologies for jumping the gun.
What's a gun?
It's been a while since
Spelljammer ship one.
That's probably one in Waterdeep.
he
like-
did
it's
hear
like a
about
wrench.
the adventures of the Rogues Gallery.
Oh, he was
So
invited.
It's been a while since I fought with others.
Well, we did not suffer too badly. Come. He puts kind of his first step up on the steps, and then he steps back and looks towards Zavir. Can you sense anything ahead?
No.
Yeah, well, he's
Zavir just shakes his head. And obviously, I left Skeleton Jim and the Bone Trinity back
So you guys
there.
aren't in the school yet, so you can still do your divination and stuff. But Zavir, why don't you give me an Arcana check? Jidden, why don't you give me an Arcana check with advantage?
20.
Okay.
18.
You both recognize that the top step has some sort of magical trap set up on it. Basically, once you pass that top step, something is going to happen.
anyone got a spare goblin? Jake, I reach down and I take a piece of that giant spider.
Cool, big chunk of ebony.
Zavir and Azun kind of approach it, kind of looking at it, setting it from a little bit of a distance, and then Zavir tries to dispel it.
Okay.
Cast Dispel Magic.
Just punt a Zune onto it.
I'm assuming it's higher than a 3rd level effect. So
Yes.
I rolled 10 plus the spell's level.
DC is 10 plus the spell level.
Yep.
Okay.
So probably a fail. That is 14.
Fail. What you recognize, though, is that you recognize that the magic on here is some sort of teleportation spell.
Ooh.
Azun says, the wizard was unable to dispel it. The trap, some sort of teleportation magic. I assume it would send the recipient somewhere quite unpleasant.
How do we move past? Do we simply skip that step? Climb up?
I'll climb around. He looks kind of upwards.
I can try. And then he'll snap his fingers and cast Mage Hand. And next to him appears this spectral hand. And then he will reach into his pocket and he'll pull out just a twig. Looks like an ordinary twig, and he'll hold it out to the Mage Hand. And anybody with Arcana probably will see that this twig is magical. It has some sort of aura to it. And I'll send my Mage Hand with my magical lockpick to see if I can disarm this trap.
Ooh.
Give me a sleight of hand.
You're like a
That's what it is, right?
arcane trickster.
Weird, right?
What sort of arcane tricks are these?
23.
Okay. So you guys all see this floating spectral hand sort of approach it, and
Aren't yours invisible?
No, I choose invisible, interact,
and
or
this twig starts to kind of glow and almost absorb the magic and neutralize the magic.
Is it safe, brother?
it is now. At least that is.
Silavar goes up to the step.
All right. You step on it. It's safe. Trust your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way up into Sorcere.
Easy peasy, guys.
A moment later, the five of you are walking down a hallway in the academy. You're actually very close to the dormitories where all the students live.
Grimcar sheathes his swords and tries to hide them under his cloak.
Okay.
Probably isn't a good idea for a slave to have weapons in the Sorcere.
Xavier, you are familiar with this place. You lived in Sorcere. You know that behind you are the dormitories. You guys also know it is nearly midnight. It's the black of Narbondel right now. That was the plan, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We never actually said that.
No, with the wizard's
That was that leading question. Are you guys done? Do you remember anything?
So you know that most of the students will be in the dormitories, like at their studies. You avoid the kitchens where late at night like this, there's usually a few students around there eating. Like I said, it wouldn't be awful. If someone sees you, it's not a big deal, but better to just avoid it.
I look out for a snag if I can see him.
He's in the kitchen. So
Yeah.
if you want to tell them to go that way, you could.
He says Snag is a cook, and I asked him to locate Eight Eyes. I can go get that info now. Move into the kitchen. Another slave, he shrugs.
8 Eyes is our next problem. Go.
He nods and slips into the kitchen.
Okay. You see a couple workers preparing meals, but you see Slag. He's got a giant spoon. He's stirring some sort of pot of food.
I find something on the ground, pick it up, and bring it over to him as if I'm doing something useful.
He takes it from you, and he says, "The library."
Any others? He nods and backs away. He says, "You must get out now when you can."
He nods.
And then heads back out into the hall. 8 Eyes is in the library, alone.
Too bad we have to get to the library, I think.
We have to get to the quarters of
We have to get to the office.
Yeah.
the office.
And then
the offices are close to the library. So you're heading that direction. As you're heading that direction, can you guys all roll knowledge nature for me?
I think I have an idea
Okay.
about what's happening.
I rolled a 1.
22 for
I'm not that
Xavier.
kind of ranger.
17.
10. 20. The hard way.
20 and 22. Salai, you, as you're all walking, you go through an archway and you see a small spider in a web.
I already have a morsel of food in my hand.
And you immediately notice that, spiders usually retreat when you approach. But as you approach, you notice that you actually see those segmented eyes just looking around everywhere. And Zavir, Salai stopping and noticing the spider makes you notice it. And when you notice the spider and you can immediately kind of jive off what Salai is doing, like you see that she's approaching it and kind of looking at it, and it clicks. There's nothing stopping, animal companions.
Got it.
Jake, I'm going to cast a spell called Animal Friendship.
First level spell.
It is bestowed upon me by the Ring of Animal Influence.
Uh-huh. I don't
And-
think spiders count as animals, bro. I think they're vermin.
They're beasts. So Salai has, from our travels in the tunnel,
That item no one thought was worth it.
she has pinched between her finger or her forefinger and her thumb like a cockroach. Its head is squished. It's still squirming a bit. And she very gingerly reaches up to that spider's web and, like she knows her way around a web, interlaces its legs and wraps it and spins it around a couple of times so that the cockroach is held fast to the web. And she just speaking essentially that she is a friend of spiders and that there is no problem here. And as long as I'm around, you will have fat cockroaches.
What?
Cut that down.
Yes, we can. What do you want to accomplish here?
I want to convince the spider that we are friends and that there is no need to alert anyone else that we are around.
Oh, no.
Okay. You cast a spell.
Don't worry
and
about it. I just marked something. No,
Don't worry about it.
Mark that spot for no reason. It seems receptive to that. It takes the cockroach, it starts spinning it into its web. And can you communicate with it?
I have speak with animals as well. I can cast it if I'll do it.
As it's spinning this web around the cockroach, it doesn't really say words. You just get the impression that there are many more.
I can see the way that it's weaving its web. It's weaving a pattern that,
And it will not raise any alarms, but there are many more.
and there are many more cockroaches. It understands as we leave.
Cool. You guys make your way up stairs.
Is it relatively quiet?
It is. It's the middle of the night. And you pass by the library, and we'll say Jidden and Grimgar kind of peek in, and you see this wizard hunched over a table reading a book, but he doesn't seem to notice. He seems busy. And you make your way past the library to the door. It literally says Grumph Benray on the door.
Because why would he
It
worry
is-
about
it is
anyone?
his office.
I think in quiet portions of the tunnel too, we pass that info along. That
Yeah.
be on the lookout for.
Right.
Yeah, there are more spiders. Watch. You were right, Severe. It is not divination.
You guys are at the door. Just open it. Go in.
Nope. Check for traps.
Give me a search for traps roll. Perception? Why don't you just let Jin do it with advantage? I
Yeah.
assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I don't know which one he's better at, but
I am proficient only.
Well, for like traps and stuff. For
Perception,
rogue
I'm
stuff.
expert. I rolled a natural 19, so
okay.
27.
There are two traps on this door. One of them is a regular trap, like a pressure plate in the floor. And the other one is a magical trap that is essentially triggered when the door hinge moves.
Okay.
Grimgar's helping you. He's like, his fingers like lining the place where that pressure plate is on the ground.
Yes, that is one, but another on the door. Magical. I can try to take care of the lock or I can try to take care of the hinge if you could do this.
Yes, I will work on this one.
Salivar kind of slowly walks away from the group at the door and turns his eyes to the kind of hallway, to the corners, to any furniture in the place, anywhere where a spider might kind of rest.
Give me
Perception.
I was going to cast guidance, but guess what that is?
Divination.
Can I help Salivar as I would
Yes,
know
you
where?
can.
So is
you
True
get
Strike,
advantage.
unfortunately.
Ooh.
Not very good.
Advantage.
Oh.
Unless you want me to roll mine. I probably have a higher
just
bonus.
advantage.
Still not very good. I rolled a 3 and a 6.
All right.
11.
Jidden and Grimgar, why don't you guys both give me sleight of hand checks?
I think Jidden's going to be realistic about it as they're working these traps. We should all prepare for what could come next. It might not be as simple as the first.
I rolled a 1 again.
24
24.
on the magic.
Okay.
A 1 on the
Mundane. All right.
I mean, that's the better one.
Yep.
Definitely.
True
Yeah.
family.
Yep.
Um,
Probably end up a fucking frog or something.
as you're, I mean, it's a combination sort of like, disarming a trap, but also like, your magical training. But you take out, you have in your little kit these thin sheets of lead, and you take it out and you slide it between the door jamb so that when the hinge opens, it won't touch itself. It'll be shielded. And you sort of mold this lead around the hinge, and you cast these like minor enchantments that'll kind of hold it in place when the door opens. And you're fairly certain that what this trap was going to do was send some sort of alarm and also trigger some sort of hold spell,
Okay.
like a hold person.
Yeah, Grimgar's trying to like wedge the pressure plate with like a dagger.
Yep. You start to
Just
wedge the pressure
misjudges it.
plate with your dagger, and that the dagger kind of slips and pushes the plate, and then you hear as the hallway starts to fill with gas, which would have really sucked if you're paralyzed.
He stands up quickly, move away, and he starts.
You kind of have to go through it to get into the room,
Yeah.
though.
Salivar kind of holds his breath and like kind of dashes forward. Is the door open?
Hold your breath. Good call.
You haven't tried to open it. It's
Then he's still right now. I think he's still taking steps back away from the gas. Then
all right. The door is locked. It can be unlocked, like with lockpicking, but anyone who's trying to enter the room or do anything at the door is gonna have to make a con check.
Jidden is going to sit at hold his breath and try to pick this lock.
Okay.
Fight through it.
Give me a pick the lock roll.
Grimgar's gonna try to help
Okay.
and take the brunt of it because he failed he feels bound to help.
So take advantage.
Word.
And it's con save.
Yeah, con save.
Con save for me first
Do
or
the
after?
lock pick first, please.
For the record, I did, before we fired up the engagement downstairs, I did finish casting Unseen Servant because I was about to set him up.
Yeah.
It lasts for an hour, so
Okay, so it's with you.
he's still there.
All right.
23 on the lock pick.
23. The lock pops open. How are you feeling?
I'm not feeling good.
No?
No, roll a 3.
A 3?
I'm gonna.
16.
You know what?
For con.
I'm using my spider dice. What the hell am I doing?
All right. So
I might have just missed.
16. Yeah.
16. No, 16 is what you needed.
Nice.
Resilient, baby.
I'm just thinking Grimgar.
John,
just
you
like,
take 12 poison damage.
Ugh.
And there'll be more.
It's
poison.
just such. I imagine Grimgar like choking to death, like slowly dying. We're all just standing there, kind of looking at him.
You are essentially
Poison.
you're going to keep taking poison damage. Yeah. Which is actually great because it could be a cool way for you to die
He
later.
coughs and like rushes into once the door's unlocked and opened.
Yeah, I think you hear the click of the lock, and Jidden turns the handle, and you like push into the door, coughing, and Jidden just strolls in behind you, and you call us weak.
Anyone else? Who's going in the room?
Salivar takes a beat in the hallway,
Okay.
looking down the hallway to where the library entrance is.
Nothing yet.
Zavir signs to you in hand code. I'll guard the hallway.
It's a few signs to in hand code. I'm a wizard. I got a really low con.
Salivar, like he, you can see he hesitates for a moment, and then he takes kind of a run through the cloud kill.
But Azun does run in,
Okay.
who is immune to poison.
All right.
Con save
Yep.
didn't make it. I got a 12.
10 damage.
Right, resilient. It just gives you the
Yeah, you can add your proficiency.
yeah. 10 damage.
Yep. Devin, are you going in?
No, I'm gonna stay out here with Zavir.
All right. So you guys all rush in. You got one round to do something before the cloud enters the room, and you have to check again.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm scanning the room for a wand.
Okay.
Yeah, Grimgar's looking for.
You're looking for
the item.
the cornucopia.
Yep, cornucopia. Yep.
And what are you doing, Matt?
Jidden is looking for hidden something, like a false wall, fake painting, something out of place.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to do a classic student prank and poop in a bag and light it on fire and leave it for him.
Give me perception checks. John, you don't have to check because the cornucopia is very obvious.
Okay, yeah.
It's sitting there.
Azun is looking for the wand. Too.
Oh, as soon as well. Yeah.
18 for Jidden.
23 for
23.
Salivar.
Okay.
6.
6. All right. You grab the cornucopia,
Yeah.
Grimgar, and then get out of there.
I help them.
You're already poisoned, so
Yeah,
you're just gonna
whatever.
yeah.
No, I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm gonna help them search for whatever they're looking
all
for.
right.
He got hit what he needed
You got an 18, Jidden?
Yeah.
to hold up
off
his
here.
end of the bargain. He looks at everyone in their eyes.
Jidden, there is an illusionary wall in here,
Okay.
and you guys see Jidden step through the wall. On the other side of that illusionary wall, is a bookshelf full of full of arcane tomes.
You're on the wrong side, Zavir.
I don't want to fuck with Grump stuff.
Good idea.
Fucking tracking devices
Yep,
on that shit.
100%. You got fucking low jack on everything.
I have Abyssal, Common, Deep Speech, Elvish as languages.
Pretty
Do I
good.
see any books in any of those scripts?
All of them.
I'll go for Abyssal
Okay.
and Deep Speech. And
All right.
just try to.
That's going to be a round.
Yep.
All right. So you make another con check. Dan, you find the wand. You grab it and get out of there.
And as I leave, I say, brother, now.
Azun jumps on the desk and he's looking at something, a piece of jewelry. He picks it up. You can see through his eyes, or
Yeah. I'm concentrating on doing that because I'm trying
he
to.
says to you, I have heard of this. Grump has a daughter. She's a powerful wizard like him. She's also a priestess of Loth. He made this so that her magics might work more in harmony. He puts it on. It's a necklace.
Jidden failed his con check.
Okay. Jidden takes 8 damage.
Hey, Druid, how's your poison handling capabilities?
And then Azun leaves the room? Or okay.
If he sees that Salvar has the wand.
Jidden, you get the books. You get a couple books.
Where-
and then you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a thief. You can't help but steal.
Yeah.
Grimgar gets out with the cornucopia, and Salavar gets out with the wand. Anything else? You moving away pretty quickly.
Yeah, as tempting as it is, I think Silavar is trying to be as expeditious as possible.
All right. Azun says, in your head, will we live up to our part of the bargain then? And looks at
Grimgar says,
at the Grimgar.
He's
who-
smiling. He says, we've done it.
Look at this roll. You take 18. Grimgar coughs up some blood.
He's like, we've done it. We've done it.
I catch Grimgar.
He like stumbles with the cornucopia like in his.
Do I know which way to the other places we need to go?
Yeah, to the scrying room. Yeah.
Were we also going to try to get some books about devil shit, or are we just going for the...
Well,
You don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, like ahead of time, was our objective just the eye, or did we also want to try to get some demon names or devil names?
I think,
I is primary, books were sort of secondary.
and possibly the eye revealing those to us as well. You know,
All right.
Where to now?
The eye it is.
we must find the eye.
All right.
Salai looks at who's poisoned. All of you.
You see like blood coming from like one of Silavar's nostrils.
Dan, you take 12. Matt, Jidden takes 10.
Any other saves?
No.
Cool.
Salai
Take damage until you take a certain amount of damage.
Salai comes up to you, Silavar. She says, "Look at me." Her hands are on your face. And she breathes in. And you feel being pulled from like your lungs and your sinuses, this like stinging gas. I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on Silavar.
That'll do it.
Just removes the poison condition.
Well,
It does.
it wasn't technically the poison condition, but yeah.
Yep.
It was poison, just not the D&D.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Word.
You just do it to Salva?
I look at him and I say,
Is Salai a good guy? I'm going to find out.
I think
He
I
did
don't
murder
think
an air
Jidden-
elemental.
I don't think Jidden is like. I think he's trying to hide. If you want me to
He's got
make
a
a
mask,
deception
too.
check, but yeah, he's
If you're
probably
trying to hide it,
Yeah, he's trying to hide the fact that he's affected. Wow, that rolled right into that fucking hole. That was pretty good. A lot, 25.
Okay. Yeah, with the mask on and everything. Yeah, if you're not like actively telling him. Plus, you've actually taken the least amount of damage so far from it. But
Thank you.
yeah, Grimgar.
The bugbear is coughing up this
yeah, the Salai says a lot to you with just a look. And then she turns to Grimgar and stands him up and she puts her hands on your face.
Oh, you evil fucker.
And she says, "Just breathe." And then and again, you feel that gas being pulled out of your orifices. And I'll cast Lesser Restoration.
Oh.
Wow. I thought that was going in a very
I
different
thought you were
direction.
going to cause light wounds or something. All right.
I
Thank
think
you.
I think as you do that and your faces are together and Jidden sees that you like save him, I think in hand
So
code he's
cold.
going to signal to the other two, she's become weak.
We must get out now.
That speech that you gave about, your people suffering and all this stuff, Salai was moved.
Azun says, "You're not done with your part of the bargain. We must get to the eye."
Yes, of course.
This. He holds up the wand to Zavir.
He puts his hand out. He nods and holds it, runs his hands over it, and turns and starts moving towards.
You know exactly where this room is. You spent a lot of time in this room because it sort of was your major study, divination. You've never used it. When you get there, it's changed a little bit. There are these massive vaulted ceilings with sort of flying buttresses. In the center of the room, in this sort of claw-like holder, is this huge glass orb. It's filled with some sort of black smoke that sort of gently swirls around. It's 5 feet wide. There's a walkway that surrounds it that you can actually walk up on to get onto it. But below it, there's a cage. And in that cage, you see some sort of beast. This room actually is light. It has a little bit of light in it, a soft glow. And as you all sort of approach, this beast looks up. It's a unicorn. It's bone thin, just bone with skin wrapped on top of it. Its once beautiful white fur is matted and gray and covered in sores. Its hair is tangled, and its horn looks like it's been slowly shaved away. Like you take a carrot and just grate it, and it looks up at all of you, these big blue shining eyes.
We're going to have to fucking hold Salai down.
Too feeble to actually stand. Salai, this is the power source.
Zavir just strides out and looks up to the orb and takes the wand and starts getting to work.
You take the wand, you point it at the orb, and then you hear a voice in your head. Hello, fellow prisoner.
It's obviously not Alita's voice.
It's not.
I'm assuming it's
the unicorn.
He glances down at the unicorn for a second and then back up. And in his mind, he responds to what he says. We have business here.
You are a prisoner like me.
We're all prisoners in one way or another.
Your prison is worse.
I appreciate the pity.
I can at least escape into my mind. But not even that is safe for you.
Do I have any awareness of if Alita can...
You don't think so.
Okay. Are you going to aid me, hinder me, or just get in the way?
I can do nothing. I am simply a source of power.
Do you wish to be relieved of your prison for good? The one we all live in?
You would give that kindness to me for nothing.
Once I have what we need.
Do you know what I am?
I think more than you seem.
A handmaiden of Miliki. But I've been cut off. Return me to her grove in death.
You shall have it. If I could be released from mine, maybe one day I will have the same release.
Salai, you hear a voice in your head. It says, when the full moon rises above the great forest, our gods speak to each other. And on that wind I hear them whisper your name. They debate whether or not your kind can change.
Let me restore you. You should see the sun one more time.
You're going to see a bright light, all right?
There's no way out for me. Except maybe you see its eyes fall on Zavir's belt, on a ring of keys that he wears. There may yet be kindness in him. He pities me, as I pity him. Both of us are prisoners. You must help him to get free. He is a prisoner in his own mind. He cannot tell you. He cannot even speak freely.
I can see it in him. He has suffered much
Zavir is starting to activate the orb.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Azun, I think Zavir kind of like his eyes kind of lose focus. And as he points that unicorn horn up at the orb starts to pulse. And you see it's pulsing. That blue eye of his starts pulsing. And you see them match rhythms and kind of grow in intensity. Azun's looking back and forth, looking up at Zavir, looking at the orb. And he turns to all of you and he says, "Tell the wizard what you wish to see."
What are the plans of House Duskgren?
You see House Duskgren, the keep, as it was before it fell, before it was consumed by fire. Except now it is surrounded by fire.
Do we all see this?
Yes, in the orb.
Cool. Nice.
Surrounded by fire, you see the keep transported to the Nine Hells. You see creatures flying around it, swarming around it. And as the orb sort of focuses in on that, you see that these creatures are drow. Winged devil drow. They land on the spires. They move in through the doors. They prepare for war.
Show me my wife's soul.
You see your wife in a city in the Nine Hells. She's in some sort of cage. I think there's only one city in the Nine Hells, right?
It depends which level it's on, I think. Can I see any like the landscape of the city that she's in? Is it like
you know what it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who owns the cage?
You see the pit fiend, the one that you killed, walks past it, attending to some other business, some other souls.
What is its name?
Its name is, you hear its name in your head.
Its true name?
No.
Yeah, I figured that would be.
Show me a roster of true names.
Download those onto this thumb drive.
Print that out. We want a hard copy.
Hard copy.
Show me the gate Duskgren will use to return to Menzo.
You just see the ruins of House Duskgren.
I think Silavar's trying to understand how many, what is the extent of this? Because it's pretty much like an incredible power that's being wrought at the moment. Is there any effects as to like what each question is doing?
You're not sure about that. Salai, you can feel the power being drained from this unicorn. With every question he asks, it grows weaker and weaker.
I'm sort of
in fact, these questions are kind of more complicated and more far-reaching. So it's really it's killing this thing.
Does Zavir know this?
Yeah.
Silavar, that is enough. Zavir.
Azun says, "Anything else? Your children, what are the names?"
Morgana and Malachi. Where are they?
You don't see them, but you see the mushroom groves of Menzo.
Hate that.
Silavar, do you have what you need?
Azun says, "Jidden, the wizard wants to know if there's anything you need."
Show her to me, my mother. What has she become?
This seems to really put a lot of strain on this creature. You can, Zavir and Salah, you can both sort of feel its pain.
Can I reach my hands through the bars of this cage?
Sure.
I lay 2 hands onto this creature. I'm going to use a spell.
Okay.
She takes actually out of her robe this like fine powder and she rubs it on her hands.
There is you can't just so I know I don't always describe doors. There is a locked gate on the cage, just so there is like a gate.
There's this glitter as she rubs her hands together, these gauntleted mithril hands glittering with this dust, and she lays hands on the unicorn. And I'm going to cast Greater Restoration.
Okay.
It cures a condition. It can be charmed, petrified. If it's, it can remove one curse, including a target's attunement to a cursed magic item. It reduces its exhaustion level by 1. Any reduction to its ability score or reducing its hit point maximum.
Okay.
Exhaustion probably helps.
That's pretty big. Yeah. So you're
it's a 5th level spell.
You go to do that. As you're doing that, Jidden, for just a moment, you see your mother. You see the matron mother of House Duskren in that keep. And standing next to her is this enormous cloaked devil. You don't know who he is, but he is most certainly some archdevil, and it must be whoever she made a deal with. And you don't see it long enough to hear what they're saying, but they're speaking to each other.
Word.
You know that it is her patron. And then that image goes away, and the orb begins to crack,
Whoopsie.
and it shatters.
I think they'll know we're here.
The curse that connects it to the orb is broken, and you see it. The unicorn doesn't fully like regain all of its strength, but it manages to get to its feet as this orb above it like starts to break and shatter, and pieces of glass are actually like falling down all around it and on it, and like cutting its skin, but it manages to like weakly get up to its feet.
What happened?
Severe.
Does Zavir understand what happened?
Yes.
Okay. He looks at Salai.
Has the magic failed?
Grimgar starts like looking outward now towards like where
That
the
made a lot of
entrances are.
noise.
Yeah. We need to leave now.
Azun says, the magic did not fail. The curse was broken intentionally. He's looking at Salai.
We have few options. We must run.
Zavir approaches the cage.
Okay.
He looks down at the creature.
All right.
There is a mercy to be done here, Severe.
In his mind, he says to it, I hope you find your grove. And he reaches a hand out, and he casts Witch Bolt at 5th level. And he's going to use his high portents.
Okay.
Roll of 19.
Devin's like, where's my counter spell?
Counterspell.
Okay.
It had like 1 hit point. You get a level though.
Cure wounds.
You killed a demigod.
He tried to do maximum damage without doing necrotic damage.
Oh, nice.
Intentionally as a mercy.
Okay.
And as the lightning kind of crackles out, you see the blue eye pulses, and then you see one tear roll down from Zavir's good eye.
In your head, Lady Alita is cackling with joy, and she says, "You've done very well."
We must go now. Grimgar's like at the door looking down the hall with his sword out.
Salivar is flanking to the other side of the doorway, also looking. Not yet.
Zavir looks at you, and he extends a finger, and you hear in your mind Zavir's voice for the first time in 100 years. And he says, it was her wish. And Zavir turns and goes to the doorway. He breaks the unicorn horn, the wand.
The wand.
Not the wand. He starts defiling the body.
So awful.
He breaks the wand and throws
okay.
it on the ground.
Nice.
I don't suppose there's any like a roster of devil names on the way out.
That you grab that printout. Okay. Your way out the door.
It's on a dot matrix, so it's taking forever to print.
Are you guys getting out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
For now.
Grimgar's leading the way. because
Grimgar's leading the way.
He wants to get the hell out of here.
The way you came, I assume.
Yeah.
All right. As you're walking past the library, the door opens and you see this hooded figure. He's in this red robe and he looks at all of you and you just see like the lower part of his mouth and he smiles and then he just walks past you all.
Like Grimgar was like ready to.
We keep walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your head, you hear Lady Alita say, "Never underestimate rivalries."
We walk kind of hurriedly through the halls, I think, as we make our way back down
make
to
your way-
that hallway.
Past the student dorms and into the basement and out of Sorcere.
In the cavern, as we're like walking through, Grimgar looks back at you and goes, "We done it. You all will be hailed as heroes."
Silavar says, "We have." He puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, "Is this enough?" He kind of gestures to the item that you have.
It is a start. It will feed many thousands who are starving now. We will gain strength, and then we will see.
That is good.
Thank you. He puts his hand on your shoulder as well.
In war, there will be many lives lost.
That is the way.
He nods.
Salai is looking pleadingly at Silavar.
I cast inflict wounds. 8d10.
Oh, shit.
8d10. Oh, well,
How many hit points do you have?
58.
You get a save?
No
Touch
save.
attack.
It's a touch attack.
Sure, Jidden can top that off.
I was going to say, if you weren't going to do it, Chidden was going to do it as well.
Matt's just sitting over there like, let someone else do the dirty work this time.
I was coming up with the plan real quick.
We got to hit him.
Order of operations.
Yeah.
No, he,
No.
I mean, I'm holding
He's
it.
willingly letting you
Yeah.
touch.
I mean, technically, if I crit him, then it does 16d10.
sure, yeah, I'm coup de grace.
All right.
we're wrapping up here anyway.
Yeah.
Puts his hand under your throat where you check a
Let's-
pulse.
I mean, I think it's
Yeah, it's fine.
fine to just say
Yep.
this kills him.
I think it
Grimgar-
actually did.
I think you. Oh yeah,
Yeah. His eyes go wide as he realizes what you're doing.
What a fucked up way to kill him.
And his other hand comes out just weakly, like grasps at your throat as you like, back away from him. And he just falls lifeless. The cornucopia bounces out of his other arm onto the ground.
Zavir walks over and picks up the cornucopia, and he walks over and hands it to Salai. And Azun says, "The wizard thinks you know what to do with this, if you choose."
She takes the cornucopia. She now it's her that averts her gaze from Zavir, and she turns as the devil is talking to her, starts walking away.
Cut to the claw and hoof.
One question, Jake.
Yeah.
Do I know? We didn't know about his speech, right? Or
No.
Okay.
Cut to the claw and hoof.
Going to cut his head off.
We see.
But he told us like the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see Zogar Flameheart standing in front of 3 times as many people, holding up the cornucopia. I assume you gave it to him.
No, we're gonna bring it back. We have fresh water, fresh food.
Yes.
Live like kings up here.
Finally, you're thinking for the team.
It was brought by a little goblin.
Nice. My brother died to get this for us. He died because he trusted the drow. And they betrayed him, as they will every time. But let his sacrifice be the beacon that brings us together. He starts dumping food out of the cornucopia. People are cheering and grabbing it up. He says, let us regain our strength. Let us remember all of our fallen brothers. And let us make this our city. Begins a chant of our city, our city. In the background, we see a Yuan-Ti. He smiles and nods at Zogar, who nods back.
Fucking brother.
Actually, can I?
Technically, it wasn't a drow that betrayed him. I mean, for the record.
Technically.
How many hit points did you have?
58 left.
So I
It
think
was very close.
I think as you see that Yuan-Ti nod, you see this like solid-faced goblin standing next to him, watching that motion.
Nice.
And like you can outside, you see Jidden in that bar watching the interaction.
I like it. I like the idea of you guys knowing what happened.
What was?
I mean, knowing essentially that the Yuan-Ti was working for Zogar.
Yep. I think that was the thing I was thinking of is like if I'd known about the revolt, he would have wanted to.
You want to do it anyway.
Yep. I was going to cut his head
that wouldn't
off
actually.
and return
That
it.
wouldn't actually stop. Thank you for listening to A Tangled Web. Please, if you have time, tell a friend, write us a review, or, just go out and shout it on the rooftops. Check out all of our different social media platforms. You can go to our website and find links at the bottom. There's probably also links on whatever you're listening to right now. That's nastygramrpg.com, and definitely check out the socials because I tend to put little things on there to help with NPCs and visual aids and whatnot. Our intro music was by A Wilhelm Scream. Theme song is Oath by Adrian von Ziegler. All scores by Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. Thanks for listening.
That's nasty.
I hate drow.
I'm a mercenary, bro.
You're definitely not neutral.
Yep.
No.
No.
Jake,
Yes.
I took something from the unicorn. But
Oh, you looted its corpse?
I took.
What did it have on it? Did it have like a statue or
Just a small bundle tied together of
Hair? Mane?
silvery mane.
Okay.
So you desecrated the corpse.
No,
So you scalped it.
You fucked it while it was alive?
wow?
it's all the mane because the head I have it.
I gotta get this through the bars somehow.
Reduce.
Like it just keeps not getting through the right way.
Mangled.
Oh no!
Menzoberranzan, the stench streets.
I'm sorry.
300. Fuck you.
Fucking old Crinkle McGee. You fucking just crackers and airheads.
Peanuts, popcorn.
Want some peanut brittle?
Pop rocks?
As long as I'm around, you will have fat cocks